Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WrestlePlug YouTube channel. This is not going to take very long. This is WrestlePlug's Hell in a Cell predictions. Right now, we're recording this the day before Smackdown, so more than likely, they're going to throw some random crap on top just to kind of get involved. But as it speaks, or as it stands, should I say, we have 5 matches on tap. However, I do have it on good authority. There will be a 6th, so I may throw that in at the end. I'm Aaron Nix. He's Carl Wilkinson. Mr. Wilkinson, will you be watching Hell in a Cell this weekend? Any interest in this very B-level feeling pay-per-view, which, if I'm being honest, feels like another WrestleMania Backlash?
I mean, I have no interest in Bobby and Drew, which is a shame. But because of how much I like Rey Mysterio, I'm excited to see him and Roman Reigns. That'll be fun.
Yeah, and that's going to be inside Hell in a Cell.
Rey's going to die. Rey's going to die. Roman's going to murder him.
Yeah, I'm expecting
we'll get to that. We will get to that.
Well, we may as well get to it now because you've mentioned it so much. Roman Reigns defends his Universal Championship against Rey Mysterio inside Hell in a Cell.
I mean, Roman wins, obviously. That's not even in question.
He's not dropping it on a B-level pay-per-view either. I don't think he'll drop it till next year. I really don't.
And unfortunately, he's not going to drop it to Rey Mysterio.
No.
I don't think Rey's ever going to win. Like, he's still half of the Smackdown Tag Team Champions, as far as I'm aware. And
yes, he is, yeah.
Rey, he's never going to win another World Championship, which, I mean, it sucks because of how much I love him. I've loved him since I can remember, but even I'm aware, even though he still wrestles, maybe almost better than he did 20 years ago, because that man just doesn't age. I don't know why, but no way he's winning. He's getting lawn darted into the cell like fucking 1997 Nitro style. He's gonna die.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this goes, whether they might use it as a I don't know why, but it feels like it might be used as a platform to further the dissension between maybe Roman Reigns and the Usos long term. Maybe they think this is a step too far. We'll see how that goes. There's a lot of long-term storybooking going on with it, but obviously Roman Reigns is going to win, so it's kind of a non-factor. But as an actual set piece and as an actual match, this should easily steal the show, as far as I'm concerned. Right now, other than the other major men's title match, heavyweight title match, there are 3 women's matches on tap. Rhea Ripley defends the Raw Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair.
I think this is the time Rhea gets her one-on-one win back from WrestleMania.
Feels like it's been a long time in the making, this one.
Yeah, I mean, Charlotte's great. Charlotte is Charlotte, but I don't think I don't think Rhea can afford to be derailed twice. I think they're going to keep this belt on her for a good long while, and beating Charlotte Flair and Asuka is a huge feather in the cap.
Yeah, it's interesting as well because Nikki Cross has been picking up quite a few wins, hasn't she, on Raw against these two? So I'm wondering whether
countouts and DQs, the beat the clock challengers, I think, or something.
Yeah, not anything like really clean or succinct.
Like nothing
in any
definitive.
Way. Definitive is the word I was actually looking for. Thank you very much. That's why we pay you the big money for the big words. I expect this to be okay. I think this was definitely one of the best matches from WrestleMania last year, WrestleMania 36, I want to say.
It was 36.
COVID Mania. It's got a fucking pay-per-view written all over it. I might actually call my next faction COVID Mania. Yeah, Rhea Ripley should retain here. My problem with this card is that it very much looks like just a complete rehash again of WrestleMania Backlash, and that the idea of WrestleMania Backlash is that's a complete rehash of WrestleMania. So it's 3 pay-per-views where you haven't really got anything fresh other than, like you say, the Universal title match and the one women's singles match, which might have a little bit of intrigue, but I think I'm going to probably put the boot in on. But Rhea Ripley should retain, and this is, like you say, it does make sense as well because Charlotte Flair's been jobbing kind of left, right, and centre to random people. She was obviously jobbing to, I forgot her name now, which is Lacey Evans. That was it. She was kind of, back and forth with her. Now she's been doing the job somewhat to Nikki Cross. So it wouldn't really make sense for her to then just beat the champion clean and take the title. It would look ridiculous, especially without shenanigans. In the other women's championship match, it's another rematch. It's Bianca Belair versus Bayley.
I mean, Bianca's got to win this one too, I think.
Yeah.
The last time I'm sure it's happened before, but the biggest 3 matches in a row I remember is when, do you remember when Batista beat Triple H at Mania 21? And then they had the rematch at, it was probably Backlash. And then the final one at Vengeance in that Hell in a Cell, which was fucking sick.
Yeah, it was.
The difference between that trilogy and the two we just talked about,
Layers building.
Yeah. This one just.
Do you think they should have started with a blood and guts match and then worked their way down?
I mean, yeah, obviously, dude. They
blood
should have done like a
Stadium Stampede, and now singles matches. Fucking hell. Fucking fuckboy wrestling.
No, the Bayley and Bianca, I think they work very well together, but SmackDown only has like 4 or 5 active women's wrestlers at the moment, considering how many people they've released in the last few weeks. I mean, if Sasha Banks comes back, which please God, let her come back soon. I miss her. She's lovely. And I think it's been enough time you could have her face Bianca again, maybe just once.
Maybe she comes back during this match.
I mean, you never know, but Bianca's got to retain on this. It doesn't make any sense otherwise.
Tell you what, the women's divisions feel very stagnant, not because the talent isn't there, because clearly all these women we mentioned are fantastic. But am I the only one who feels like it does feel a bit flat right now because we're getting the same iterations of matches over and over, and it does seem to miss a Sasha Banks. I actually think Ava Marie coming in using Piper Niven is a real injection, of fresh talent that's actually kind of needed right now because it is just the same people over and over. So yeah, but obviously I'm expecting Bianca Belair to retain here. This really doesn't feel like a big event, this pay-per-view. I do feel like I'm watching just for the novelty of the Hell in a Cell match. This is a match that I think people are excited about. I'm personally not. Alexa Bliss versus Shayna Baszler.
It's cool to see Alexa wrestling again because she hasn't done that in like 8 months.
She almost beat Nia Jax, didn't she, on Raw?
Yeah. Fucking Christ. You remember?
That was shit.
Pepperidge Farm remembers when Shayna Baszler knocked out all 5 women in that Elimination Chamber.
Oh wow! Remember? Yeah, fuck me.
Yeah.
I remember how remember how psyched I was about that. That was one of my favorite elimination chambers of all time. The whole show was great. Oh.
And then she lost to Becky in like 8 minutes, and nothing's been the same since. Yeah, this is.
Yeah, they've got no clue how to book her. Actually, Shayna Baszler is somebody I kind of wish would go to somewhere like AEW where she'd actually get the right push. I feel like she could walk into AEW. Like, how amazing would it be? First match, debuts against Britt Baker, breaks her fucking jaw. Just fucking goes right for it and wins the women's championship. Although I don't trust, obviously, AEW to book any women's wrestling correctly because they're a bunch of fuckboys. But yeah, I don't care about this match. I think Alexa Bliss is going to win due to some weird, shady shenanigans.
She's totally going to mind control
Reggie. He's going to cost Shayna Baszler here. Yeah. And cause, what do we think? Do we think that Alexa Bliss has got a crush on little Reggie?
I mean, maybe she's going to use him to, I don't know.
She was giving him a very suggestive look. And to be fair, most of us would be hypnotized by Alexa Bliss if she started doing that. She was just looking at me like, huh? But like I said on the Raw review this week on YouTube, it did cut. That's basically the face we all pull when we watch Raw. It just turned into mindless idiots. I think Alexa Bliss wins. I don't care. I think Shayna Baszler realistically should murder Alexa Bliss in like 2 minutes flat. She's like the size of her leg. It pisses me off a little bit that Shayna Baszler isn't pushed properly. I have very little interest in this match. There's a morbid curiosity in the background, just that little part of me that's like, well, they must be doing something. They're not just going to go out and have a match.
Yeah.
They must have something going on here. So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt because I do love both women as entities. I think Shayna Baszler is the most underutilized and terribly booked women's champion they've ever had. At least Asuka had big main event style matches at WrestleMania with people like Charlotte Flair. And at least Asuka had title runs. Shayna Baszler's had none of that. The only thing, like, she's actually turned her and Nia Jax into a really fun and interesting dynamic. I enjoy their backstage shit where they're going after each other, and I kind of enjoy Reginald being with them a little bit as well. I actually don't think it's terrible at all, but so woefully underutilized, really is. that leaves the main event. However, judging from what I've seen, I can't believe they wouldn't put this on at least a pre-show. I reckon we're probably going to get the SmackDown Women's Tag Team Championships being defended. Tamina and Natalya versus a rather redonkulous-looking pairing of Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. If that does happen, just spitballing it, do you think there's any chance we could have new Women's Tag Team Champions?
Not after they've made such a big deal about Tamina winning.
Yeah. Not the first time a member of the Snooker family has killed it.
Allegedly,
of course.
Yeah.
Dark side of the ring. Aye.
I haven't watched it. I haven't caught up on the newest one of that. I gotta get around to that.
No, he's apparently really fucking good. Dynamite Kid, I've read his book. Mm-hmm. That is a dark thing to real. Fucking hell, mate. Tell you what, don't read that if you're squeamish. Really tragic, actually, his life story, if we're being honest. Get very depressing very quickly, and his predictions. I've got no interest in this show. I've got no interest in this whatsoever. And for all you people out there who send me hate mail saying, oh, you're a fucking WWE fuckboy, I think this pay-per-view looks fucking boring. I've got no interest in it whatsoever. I really don't. Where the fuck is Cesaro, by the way? Has he died? Has he fallen off a cliff? Like, that push lasted all of 2 weeks. Have you seen Mick Foley this week begging Vince McMahon to push him? Actually got down on his knees on a video and begged Vince McMahon to push Cesaro.
Yeah.
He's
not under contract. He don't give a fuck.
No, he'll get down on his knees for anyone who deserves a good pushing. Oh, wait. Hey, do you know what push I want to see again? When Brock Lesnar pushed Zach Gowen down the fucking stairs in a wheelchair. Ha! That's fucking good shit. Proper heel maneuver there from me. Very proud of that. I really am struggling, but this probably won't close the show, actually, because Rey Mysterio...
No, they've already opened the show. This is going to be a curtain jerker.
Yeah, the last chance Hell in a Cell match. Bobby Lashley defends his championship with MVP at ringside, no doubt. Not that I mean anything. Against Drew McIntyre. Does Drew McIntyre get it at the last opportunity, or do we keep it on Bobby Lashley? And do we finally bring back Brock Lesnar and get the big MMA-style meaty hoss battle to end all battles that we all want?
I love Drew. I have for a long time, but Christ almighty, I don't need any lessons on Scottish history.
He's becoming the new Roman Reigns, where he's really talented. He can do everything that you want him to do.
But he's being fed shit lines.
And he's also been shoved right down your fucking throat as hard as you can. And it's getting boring now. Yeah, and I don't believe him. I think his promos are very disingenuous. And the only time he's actually really good is when he kind of goes off script a little bit. You know, when he said, like, all aboard the hoe train. And I was just like, yeah, very good, very good. But there's not enough of that. I find this iteration of Drew McIntyre really boring. Time to turn him back to being a heel, because he was really on the run of his life. Remember when he was heel right before he eliminated Lesnar at the Rumble?
Yeah,
I thought he was great in that role, and I actually would have liked to have seen him stay heel and then kind of cement a face turn after WrestleMania, because obviously you can't really be a heel if you knock out Brock Lesnar and pin him at WrestleMania. But yeah, no, this for me, it has worked to a certain extent, but now it's just way, way, way overkill. I would have actually much rather seen Kofi Kingston in this match. I think Kofi Kingston
100%.
versus Bobby Lashley would have been really refreshing. And if you noticed, MVP's teasing this kind of, he's trying to get in Kofi Kingston's head on Raw every week. I think we're actually getting primed and ready for possibly Kofi Kingston going after Bobby Lashley next as a kind of go-between guy until SummerSlam. I think that's actually a really good idea. Kofi Kingston has already proved himself to be a main event player when needed, albeit very short term. So, yeah, Bobby Lashley is clearly going to retain here.
Oh, 110%.
Yeah.
Like, I want to care because, like I said, I like Drew, but it's so dumb. Cutting a table in half with a fucking Claymore, it's too over the top for me. I'm sorry. It is. It's...
What, you got that sword out of nowhere? What the fuck is that? And the thing is, like, no. It's hard for me to be excited about this pay-per-view.
Well, that's good, because I'm not.
Oh, good. I just don't care. I tell you what, if they keep it to a 5-match card, fair enough. Can you imagine if this was 2 hours long? That might actually serve it well. The thing is, all of these matches are good matches. You know, even Alexa Bliss and Shayna Baszler, they are two talents that you can kind of, you know, get behind or root for in some form or fashion. And the other 4 matches are all big title matches. You know, the 2 major heavyweight men's titles are on the line, and the 2 major women's titles are on the line. But they're matches we've already seen, apart from Roman Reigns versus Rey Mysterio. And there is no way I am believing that Rey Mysterio can overcome Roman Reigns inside Hell in a Cell.
Not for $1 million would I take that bet.
No, especially after what happened to Dominic Mysterio on Smackdown last week.
I just want to throw this out for a second. The way that the camera angles were fucking sick.
That is one of the best, and also the still image. That's one of the better photographs I've seen from wrestling in many a year, actually. That is caught beautifully. If there's one thing no fucking salty ass hater can say about WWE, and they do a lot of things wrong, their production levels, when they get it right, are fucking streets ahead of everybody else. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal. Very excited because obviously we're going to have fans back soon, aren't we, as well? So that will probably help beef up the expectation and excitement of stuff like this just that little bit more. I think that will help. But as it stands, you know, like we say, there's some great matches here. But you've seen all of them multiple times in different iterations, except for Reigns versus Mysterio, which feels like it might have a Dominic Mysterio cell bump. That's my random fantasy booking guess. I think Dominic Mysterio falls off the cell. Or they do something similar to, dare I say, Blood and Guts, where Roman Reigns or maybe the Usos have Dominic Mysterio, or maybe the Usos say that, you know, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go out on a limb. This is the last thing I'll leave you guys with. I think the match ends. Rey Mysterio is obviously amazing effort, almost overcomes all the odds. And then after the match, possibly, Roman Reigns gets up to the top of the cell. He's beating the shit out of Rey Mysterio. He's beating the shit out of Dominic, and then he threatens to throw Dominic off the cell. And they're like, no, please don't. And he does it anyway. And he smashes through a table or whatever. And then that's what kind of tips the Usos over the edge, where they realize, yeah, no, this has gone too far now. So that's, especially if it's going to main event, you got to think there's going to be something crazy. Or maybe Dominic Mysterio ends the show as the new Universal Champion. I don't know. That would blow my fucking mind. Not in a good way, however. So yeah. Any final thoughts, mate, on what to expect at Hell in a Cell, or are you highly uninfused like I am in the whole premise of this?
We're going to watch it for you guys. You're lucky.
Yeah, I will attempt to watch it live. Obviously, I'll be reviewing it the day after. There will be a YouTube video available, and also it will be available on all our audio platforms as well. So make sure you check that out. However you would prefer to consume the WrestlePod podcast, it will be available on all formats. From myself, Carl Wilkinson. From myself, Aaron Nix, and from Carl Wilkinson. I've drunk way too much rum and coke this evening. We will catch you very soon for a lot more content from the WrestlePlug. Some good, some terrible. Oosh!